What's up, nerds? My name is Brendan. I am the nerd of many faces, and to my right is, as always, I just gestured left. I am tired. To my right is Shane at FDScosplay, and to my left, of course, is the SassySwede. And we are the Knights of Nerd, and this is our discussion slash review slash hot take slash whatever the heck you want it to be of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But first off, how has everyone been?
Good.
I'm alive.
Good.
That is a mood.
Preparing for next week.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Very much preparing for next week. Celebration and making sure that all my costumes are ready to rock and roll. Got my approval for Rebel Legion for my pilot, so
Yeah, I saw that.
Congratulations on that.
There, and then thank you. I also got my approval into Hazard Squadron for that too. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of fun stuff to do at Celebration. So I just trying to figure out what other costumes I'm going to wear besides Kylo and my pilot. So we'll see.
You would make a very large Jawa.
I talked with a bunch of people in my garrison. We're talking about doing a bunch of 6-foot tall Jawas just for fun.
There we go.
So that should be interesting. Like 15 6-foot Jawas running around, having some fun.
I just kicked back into the conversation. I'm so invested already.
I had mentioned, because Shane was talking about how he needs to decide what else it is he's going to be wearing for costumes. And I said, I jokingly said he'd make a very tall Jawa. Little to my knowledge was that actually might turn into an actual thing.
My brother has a Jawa and he's 6'3".
Yeah, there's a bunch of us talking about doing a bunch of 6-foot tall Jawas.
So
I support this decision. I will not be there, but I will be there in spirit.
I too will not be.
It won't happen this year. I can't put a Jawa together in a week. So
You can get one of those cheap costumes and wear it at the hotel. It'll be fine. That's when you wear it.
I'll run around and steal everybody's drinks.
Exactly. And food. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Stay hydrated, eat. Good.
What about cell phones? Considering Jawas are nefarious for stealing technology.
I'll just have to carry like a Jawa backpack. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why don't they ever have a backpack? They walk around and take stuff. So just
Maybe they have like robe pockets.
There you go.
That way they're inconspicuous about it. They don't see the backpack. They just kind of slip it in, and then they like open up their robe, and they've got like this huge, like weird, nefarious pocket situation going on.
They're like, kind of like one of those sleazy guys you see in
selling
like
watches.
Old school 80 movies. He opens it up, and he's got like watches on both sides.
What do you want? I got engine parts, cell phones. Yeah.
It's like, well, no, that's an actual car part. Catalytic converters.
That, you know what? People do steal those.
All the time.
But we'll probably like touch on Star Wars Celebration. What with our review of like the first episode of Obi-Wan, considering that's coming out here relatively soon.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna quickly pull up some stuff on my phone. Sassy, let's start with you. What was your what was your take on the multiverse?
I liked it. Not my favorite, but I liked it. I liked that they continued off of WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't like that at the same time. It felt more like a Wanda movie than a Doctor Strange movie. Plus, they always seem to make him the villain in his own film. It gets a little annoying, teeny bitty bit. But I did like that they took a darker tone to it, which was nice. Did I kind of see the whole plot happening? Yeah. Did I like that they did it that way? Yes. Did I get scared in the theater once? Yes. But I'm a fraidy cat. We all know this.
Especially of one particular genre.
I know, and you made fun of me the second you saw the movie, and you're like, hey, there's zombies in it. And I'm like, yes, I'm painfully aware. The necromancy was real. I don't do zombies. No. Thank you. Whatever swear word you'd like to put in there, go for it. It applies. I don't do zombies. But this was a tasteful zombie. It made sense. I dealt with it for the plot.
It was not it was not a zombie for the sake of having, like...
It was a reanimated corpse. It was necromancy. It wasn't a brain-eating, mindless thing. I dealt with it. Gross, but I dealt with it. No, I liked it. There were certain visual aspects I didn't find to be up to normal Marvel standards, whether that be the CGI. We all had an issue with that. Some wardrobe issues pertaining to the wig, like we were talking about earlier, and stuff like that, where it was like, oh, that's a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like that they continued off of one. They're starting to bring in the Disney Plus shows into the actual MCU, which was nice. I loved that they established another multiverse other than Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But it had its issues. He's always the villain in his films, and it was more about Wanda than it was about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I liked it.
Shane?
I liked it. Not my favorite Marvel movie, like Swede. I had some issues with it. The CGI, and like I mentioned earlier, I felt that this movie had the worst CGI of any Marvel film that I've seen so far. The wig thing just drove me nuts at the beginning. Everybody's saying it was a horror, like Marvel's horror film. It did not feel like a horror film to me at all.
No.
It felt more like Army of Darkness meets Strange, basically. Sam Raimi, of course.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned Army of Darkness. They have the same. This movie and Army of Darkness had the same director.
Oh no, I know,
And
I know, but it had that same kind of campy horror feel to it, kind of like those. Not as bad as Army of Darkness, but for sure. I love Bruce Campbell's, his role in the film, or his cameo. Hopefully everybody stayed to the very, very end of the credits for even more. It was amazing. Yes. I always love seeing Bruce Campbell in anything. So, but no, I mean, the story was very predictable. It like Sweet said, it felt like an extended finale of WandaVision. It felt more like a Wanda film than it did a Doctor Strange film. I went and saw it with my daughter. She loved it. She had a good time with it. Her only complaint was she really didn't like America Chavez. Like, she felt her character was too... Like, she felt like it was like, okay, I'm the damsel in distress. I'm just a teenager not knowing how to do anything. Yeah, and for her, I mean, she's 18, so I mean, I can understand that from her, from her point of view. So, that's how she felt. But everything else she loved. So, points to her for that. But I thought the soundtrack was good. I enjoyed the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Danny Elfman, so I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, pretty much anything Danny Elfman touches is phenomenal. So, but I mean, overall, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I prefer the first Doctor Strange to this one, and
Agreed.
It's definitely not Marvel's strongest showing. I feel that they keep trying to one up themselves with the shows and the movies lately, and they're really missing the mark on a lot of stuff. Kind of felt that a little bit with Moon Knight, and now with Doctor Strange. Like, coming into it, it's a multiverse of madness, right? And they kind of led way to that with Spider-Man, and what they did with Spider-Man, that was a multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And this, you didn't really get that sense of the multiverse of madness. Like you
You're
kind of,
trespassing.
yeah,
Go
just
away.
there wasn't really.
You got
I,
one.
I
You got one
I feel like they
multiverse.
missed the mark with that. They missed the marker with the multiverse. Like they lead you up to like this to this whole film with WandaVision, with Loki, with Spider-Man, and then this is kind of like the culmination of expecting to continue on seeing the different things that they've done. Like, I mean, I would have loved to seen different multiverse characters. We kind of got some, which was great, which they pulled from What If and a couple other shows, and we got a nice little surprise there for for future projects. I don't know if we're talking about spoilers or anything here, but I'm trying to keep it to as low key as possible.
I mean, by
But
the time that this video releases, it's been 2 weeks.
okay, well, you know, the Fantastic Four. I mean, that was to me that was phenomenal. That whole part there, and getting to see.
Wait! You're considering that a spoiler? Johnny Krasinski's been confirmed as Reed Richards for a while.
I know that, but I wasn't expecting him in this film.
Ah, okay.
I was not expecting him. I also wasn't expecting what's her name as Captain Marvel.
Maria Rambeau.
Yes, the dude that basically wouldn't talk and got his head blown up because his mouth got shut. I had no idea who the hell that guy is.
Black Bolt. Okay, so this.
No idea who Black Bolt is.
Okay, so Black Bolt is actually from Marvel's. So Marvel had on ABC. This is back when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was super popular and everything else. They did a series called The Inhumans. Black Bolt is the leader of the Inhumans.
Okay.
And he's also a member of the Illuminati. And one of his superpowers is that when he speaks, it's such a sonic wave that it will kill you. So that's why he whispers and everything else. If he were to actually shout, he would destroy the world.
Okay, gotcha. But I love seeing Captain Carter. That was seeing her in that costume with the shield, and that was just that was the movie for me right there. That was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I wanted more of that. That's kind of what I expected, more of stuff kind of like that from multiverses. It was like you kind of saw what we saw in the trailer of them kind of going through the different multiverses, and then you end up on, I can't remember what world they called it or whatever. Like he was like, yeah. But I mean, the movie, I think that I swear this is it has to be the shortest Marvel movie yet, because it was only like 2 hours long. We saw it at 4:00 and we were out at like 6:01.
Let's see. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I want to say it was close to 2 hours because I saw it at like 3 in the afternoon and I stayed all the way to the end.
Right.
I did a bunch of other stuff. I have to play Galaga before I leave. And I was out by like 6 something. And it
is 2 hours, and the total runtime of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is 2 hours and 6 minutes.
So yeah, about 2 hours.
Super short. Like for Marvel standards, because most of their films average 220 to 230. So, I mean, they probably could have done more, but I don't know. I mean, it was good. Like I said in the Moon Knight episode, I didn't hate it, I didn't love it.
They could have done more with it.
Yeah, they built up for this huge kind of like multiverse thing, and you really didn't get it in the movie.
Yeah. And then it was more about Wanda and trying to get her kids back than it was about Doctor Strange trying to help America Chavez transverse and learn how to control her power. That would have been more interesting. And then they had another movie where it was Wanda and Doctor Strange. This would have been a nice third Doctor Strange movie. in my opinion. I wanted to see more of America because she's actually really cool for
Yeah.
a lot of people that don't know who she is. But
Yeah.
it would have been cool for him to be like exploring the multiverses, maybe
Mhm.
figuring out, because they had a Thanos in their multiverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been cool to see how they dealt with it. Maybe they would explain the differences. They would have talked about more of these when the two universes clash. I'm forgetting the word they used.
Oh
Incursion.
yeah. Incursion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incursion.
It would have been cool had they gone over incursions more. It would have been better to see him interact with another Doctor Strange that was living besides the cuckoo one that was
Yeah.
having his own issues in his own destroyed universe.
Yeah.
So I think in regards to the shortest Marvel movie, because it interests me in terms of stats. Currently, the one that is the shortest is Thor: The Dark World at an hour 52.
Okay.
It's like I'm still getting to like the earliest stuff in terms of like Iron Man and Iron Man 2.
There we go.
No, I think Iron Man, the Iron Man films, I want to say were over 2 hours at least. Where, yeah, I don't recall those being any shorter than at least 2:15 at least. But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah. But no, I liked America Chavez's character to the extent, like I liked her superpower being able to go between the multiverses and stuff like that. But like one of my biggest things was like I was hoping
2 hours and 6 minutes for Iron Man 1.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then 2 hours and 4 minutes for Iron Man 2.
What about
wow.
Iron Man 3?
Okay.
And then I'll look up 4.
There is no Iron Man 4.
I know that was the joke.
I'm tired.
But one of the things I was like, because you have this whole, meet up with
What was
Wanda
that
and her
again?
kids and stuff
You
like.
broke up a little bit.
I was just saying that the one thing that I was surprised that they didn't bring into effect, or even Strange try to do, was where's the Vision? Where's Vision? We got this new version of Vision at the end of WandaVision. Why was he not here in the movie to kind of be like, I was waiting for him to swoop in and him be the one that basically brings her back to reality instead of
crashing her reality and saying those aren't your kids.
Yeah, so it was kind of like,
or having if he wasn't destroyed in all universes, maybe having that Vision say, you know what, let's be rational about this, let's talk this through, rather than shocking the crap out of her, which backfired in the best way possible because they had to wrap it up nicely. But
didn't they establish in Loki the whole entire thing of absolute points in time? There are things so
I think they had talked about it, but I think that all went to
it's like there are certain events that take place across the multiverse that are universal. So
yes.
So the whole
but didn't that all go to crap when time split? When the multiverses?
When does but when does this happen? It's like they went, but that was before. But Vision dying was before.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it would happen in every single universe.
Right.
They defeated Thanos in that universe. In the other universe, he wiped out half the planet.
But it's like, but the point that I'm trying to make at this current point, at this current time, is that what if Vision dying is an absolute?
That could very well be possible. Absolutely.
And because it's in terms of the timeline, the time splitting in terms of Loki takes place after Vision has died.
Right.
So,
but it also takes place after Vision comes back.
The white
version of Vision, not her Vision.
Yes, not her Vision, not one that's going to go through. And let's face it, it's like White Vision. He's not going through and saying, Wanda, you're being bad, now knock it off.
No, but he might help rationalize the situation, and her having those emotions and realizing, okay, that used to be him, that's not really him, but there's still that hope that he's still in there, because she still does feel that way, I think, at the end of WandaVision, that, okay, there might be something there, or maybe something we can reestablish and maybe rejog those memories or something. Whatever she's feeling at that point, there is some hope in that. But if they really had an issue, that maybe they could have, is what we're saying, reached out and maybe seen if he would be able to just kind of, okay, let's work this out, let's figure it out, let's do whatever, because he is the rational thinker of the group. He's quite literally the most rational person in the entire MCU.
It's like in the MCU, he is a Vulcan.
I was trying not to use the word Vulcan because I don't do much Star Trek, but yeah, he's basically a Vulcan. So he might have been able to reason with her and help her process her thoughts or something.
Right.
But my question,
it's just,
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that was possible. It's in terms of like the rationalization of, hey, you're doing something bad, because they were going through and establishing things in terms of the story that said the Darkhold does weird things to its readers.
Yes.
Right.
One of the things that the 616 version of Wanda may subconsciously know that she can get something in terms of vision back. The thing that she can't get back, though, is her kids.
True, but at the same time...
Well, hold on. True, at the same time is not exactly where we're going here, man.
No, but even Strange was trying to explain to her that they weren't her kids. They were just a figment of her imagination.
Well, they weren't her kids in that timeline. There are timelines in which she does have her children. That's been established.
Yes.
And so, yes, I will agree with you that Strange trying to rationalize with Wanda in regards to the whole entire "they are not your children," that was indeed the correct thing for the story to do. However, I disagree with, and it's like I disagree with the both of you, in that bringing back Vision was the smart play. I think that would have been a worse play.
No, we're just saying that was a possibility.
Yeah.
We're not arguing that it's the better play. If I had to make an argument, I would say that the way that Strange did it said, those are not your kids. Those are this Wanda's kids. How do you think they're going to feel? And in turn, that's what happened.
Yeah.
They felt exactly how he said they were going to feel.
Yeah.
That's not my mother. That's my mother. Who the fudge buckets are you? Okay. And it's yeah, that was the more rational thing to do.
But also, it's like, if in terms of a storytelling thing, if they did bring in Vision, I think that would have been one too many characters.
Yeah, it would have been a bit much.
Because if you think about it, this is essentially an establishment crossover. They're establishing that the X-Men are going to be in the 616. They're establishing
I'm so excited
that the Fantastic Four are going to be in the and the Fantastic Four are going to be in the 616. By introducing those two characters, and who knows, maybe we'll get some version of Inhumans. Taking into consideration the Inhumans show on, I think it's like either ABC or Fox, one of the two. It lasted for a season. Like, you go. Hold on.
I didn't even watch it.
I didn't think it lasted. I didn't even think it lasted for a whole season. Did it?
I will check Disney Plus right now.
But realistic question: who are they going to cast as the Human Torch?
I don't know.
I'm curious. I want to see. I miss the Chris Evans, but
that would be so amazing.
That would be so weird. Well, I was talking to another friend of mine at work, and it was really funny. We were discussing, like, so what are they gonna do? Because we were our hopes if they were doing another X-Men film, if they were doing another Fantastic Four. We were talking about that, and I said, the last movie I watched Chris Evans because it was on Netflix and I needed something to do while I was doing laundry. I was watching Not Another Teen Movie, and it just makes me laugh every time that there are so many people who have not seen this. I've seen Chris Evans walking around with whipped cream and cherries on his man titties, and a banana in his booty. If you have not seen this, go watch it because you will forever be changed.
Yes, you will.
You will love him even more.
Yes. Oh my god.
It's beautiful. It's so
It is.
beautiful. Him being weird and awkward versus Cat.
Yeah.
You love both. We
Yeah.
love the duality of man right there.
Yes.
Batman.
Inhumans was released in 2017, and it ran
Okay.
it had an 8 episode season. So by today's standards, it had a season, considering most seasons are 10 episodes long. I mean, it was just too short. So,
Well, I mean, most seasons on streaming is 8 to 10 episodes, but on television you're looking at 21 to 23 episodes.
And less so. I mean, less so when it's like when that was released. I mean, go look at episodes of Burn Notice.
There's a ton of episodes for Burn Notice.
I know that's because they had like 7 different seasons.
Yeah.
Let's see. Burn Notice.
That was a great show, by the way.
That was a fantastic show. I love that show. I will watch that show. It's like given any opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's a binge-worthy show.
It is such a binge-worthy show. It's like 8 out of 10 from IMDb and 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. TV Guide 70%. But hold on, just let's see. Come on, give me season 1. Give me season 1. It's like we're just checking we're just checking this just for the sake of like, okay, this is how many episodes season 1 had. Episodes. Season. Yeah, okay, they had 12.
Okay.
Season 2 had the episodes had 60, and then yeah, they just went up, except for season 7 where it went back down.
Yeah.
They capped out at a season at 18 episodes.
Okay.
But
nice.
In terms of my thoughts on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I enjoyed it. I mean, yes, it's not my top. It's not in the top 5 for me for Marvel. I mean, and considering it's like there's just so many, I don't even. It's like it's so hard because there are like what 24 movies now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And so it doesn't. I don't know. It's like I'd have to go through and like watch everything again to.
Oh
signify
no.
If it, I know problems.
Dang.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's top 10, but like I said, I have to go back and rewatch. But also, it's not. I will say it's not Thor: The Dark World. It's not Thor 2. Thor 2 is arguably the weakest Marvel movie that to come out.
Agreed.
It's like I didn't mind. It's like I actually, you guys were talking about some of the costuming stuff. The wig didn't bother me as much. I appreciated the different costumes.
I did. The costume itself was nice.
The costume was nice.
Yeah.
The different costumes that we saw in Doctor Strange, considering I think that the first Doctor Strange that we see, his costume is the same one from or as close to the animated Marvel Doctor Strange, which
we'll go with Ponytail Strange and regular Strange.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like that Strange had the regular Strange haircut as opposed to the ponytail, so I don't know what hairstyling, whatever. Probably just it's like we need to make things more different. How? Give him a ponytail.
Give him a ponytail.
Okay. I don't know if they could. I know that Shane was all talking about it's like they needed more multiverses. They needed more multiverses. They needed more multiverses. I don't know if that could have been accomplished without 2 parts.
Then I would have been fine with that. I'd have been perfectly fine with that.
I think we're kind of all in agreement that they tried and didn't achieve cramming so much into one film.
Yes.
There were quite a few plot points and characters that we could have really focused on and explored a little bit better. It should have been 2 parts.
Right.
It should have.
Well, if I remember, we may have to look this up, but at one point, wasn't Doctor Strange part of the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
My Doctor Strange knowledge is limited.
I mean, in all honesty, it's like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, who hasn't? I mean, it's kind of like the
right.
Avengers.
I'm trying to.
Who
I've got a bunch of Guardians comics. And I'm trying to remember all the covers of the Guardians comics that I have, and I swear there's at least 3 of them that I have where he's on the cover with them, whether he's working with them or part of the group. But it's from it's like from the 70s. So it's
I want to say he was probably working with them.
It's a long time ago. So like it would have been kind of cool to see something like that, like him go to a different multiverse and him, that kind of stuff, because like I said, you built up this multiverse with WandaVision, Loki, Spider-Man.
You're forgetting What If.
What If, yes.
And What If.
And you build this up into this movie's the Multiverse of Madness. Like multiverse is in the damn title, and so my expectation is for them to continue that trend of showing you the expanded multiverse and not just kind of give you, okay, here's one, we're going to throw you through about 15 of them, and then here you're going to land here, and then at the end we'll give you kind of like a different one for kind of like the climax of the movie, and then that's it.
But so you're saying, Shane, to kind of pose this question to you, is that where's your story if you go from one multiverse to another? Because the thing is, when they hop multiverses, they're gonna have to go through the whole entire beginning exposition yet once again to reintroduce these characters or to signify the differences between them. You can only do that so much before an audience is gonna get bored. Because what you could have done.
Hold on.
Okay. We saw this with Spider-Man. We are aware Peter Parker got bitten by a spider. We didn't need to see it how many different times. So that's kind of where I think that they had to go to be like, okay, we need to land in one and explore the characters that we have rather than go to multiple and rehash out it's like the differences between the same characters. Well,
here's my thing on it. You travel through you're basically trying to find, I can't remember what was the book that they were trying to get.
The Book of Vishanti.
The Book of Vishanti. You go right to the world that can lead you to it. Where's the story there? You could have had a lead up to that world by going to different multiverses in search of it and have different Illuminatis to talk to, and you could have led it up to that, to where they finally find their way to the one that they need to go to, instead of just going through all these other ones and automatically being at the place that they need to be.
Plus, they made a big point of saying America can't control her powers, so that's very convenient that they ended up back there.
Right. So
I mean,
that's how you can tell the story and give you different multiverses. That's the story there. That would have been a better story instead of just going through all these and then landing on, going from point
Wanda's
A
scary.
Right there to point, to Z, basically, to the place where you need to be. That's just my rational thought on that. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, people can agree or disagree with it, but you could have done a lot more to lead up to that scene, to that kind of climactic, whole well, not climactic, but lead up to the climax of the film. Like you kind of went from a beginning to no middle to the end.
I think the
But
general consensus is that it was rushed,
yes,
and we wished there was more meat and potatoes. We're not saying we didn't enjoy the salad and the dessert, but we need the meat and potatoes. And I wish we would have actually had more of America Chavez in it, besides being the oh my god, I'm a 24/7, and then her really, all right, I'm a kick some ass now because I need to. Let's lady up. Let's do it. I need to do it. But maybe explore her a little tiny bit more. I was mostly disappointed at that. I think it was. I wish we saw more of her and got to know her a little bit. Okay, yeah, she's got two moms. She's from another planet. Okay, so now she's got star punching powers, and no one's talked about this. Okay, yeah, it was a little rushy. He's the villain in his own film again, and yeah, I love the Wanda element. I love that they're really diving deep. She's not a happy, fun character. She never has been. She's a very scary person.
Yeah,
I loved that she killed Charles a little bit. I was like, oh, some drama.
Yeah, that was
some drama.
Damn.
So much.
Like that was scary.
Literally that whole wipeout of the Illuminati was just like
that was beautiful.
Shit.
Like, that was beautiful.
Damn.
Did I? Oh, and we need to talk about Maria Rambeau being Captain Marvel for a second. I appreciated that so much. We're having another moment for Miss Peggy. Delicious. That brought my backlog of cosplays back up to the front. I'm like, I know too many Peggies, but I want to do it, and I want to do a Captain Carter, not a Peggy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wished we would have touched on a couple more characters. If they're trying to bring in the elements from Disney Plus, do it, man. Commit. Finish that commitment. It should have been more than one film. It really should have.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Maybe the first one, okay, yeah, they're going to deal with, okay, we need to start exploring a couple of universes. Maybe we'll get some help along the way. It would have been great if they took Captain Carter and they're like, hell yeah, man, let's go. She'd probably be like, okay, it needs to be done. I'm going to do it. I'm going to help. This is what I'm here for. Yeah. She'd probably do it.
Then by that definition, wouldn't we just have another What If?
It kind of is what it felt like a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, in terms of what you just described, in terms of like, they grab Captain Carter, she comes and helps. It's like, isn't that what Uatu did?
I don't know. It was a suggestion, a general suggestion. At this point, it should have been more than one movie. We should have gotten more character development. It should not have been the Wanda show on a Doctor Strange movie. They could have called it the Multiverse of Madness, and I would have been happy, instead of Doctor Strange, the Multiverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it was more about Wanda than anyone else.
Yeah, but I'm also trying to like recall in terms of Captain America and Captain America Civil War. Because that too was a crossover movie.
Yes.
That's like under the guise of one character.
Right.
Yeah. I think it was done significantly better. And you do see more of Steve.
Okay.
And it wasn't just centered on Tony.
Yeah.
Or Bucky.
Yeah.
I mean, those three were the definitely driving characters that had the driving force behind them.
I mean, even when you did see it focused on Bucky, Steve was always present, or it was always a flashback that was relevant to what was happening with Steve.
Yeah.
It wasn't, okay, I'm having a Wanda flashback. Now I'm going to go start picking on the other universe's Wandas to go find the specific set of kids I've been creeping on, or something like that. But yeah.
I don't know. Well, it's like, but I will say, it's like, for one of the things that I did enjoy about the movie was I enjoyed the sound design with all the nods to other Sam Raimi films. There is the fight scene between Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange, in which there's a certain piano riff that gets played on every. It's like bring. I was like, that's from Evil Dead.
Yes.
And I'm like, and of course I appreciated those nods, because Evil Dead has a little bit of a special place in my heart, considering I've done Evil Dead the musical a few times.
Aw.
And so yeah, it's like Sam Raimi has a special place in my heart when it comes to like those movies, because his horror movies aren't like, he has decided he cannot do horror. But what he can do is he can turn horror into some form of comedy.
Or he can go creepy. Yeah. It's creepy.
And that's kind of what we're left with. Now, I didn't have either of the problems that it appears that you two had. I don't think it's like, I think that for a single movie it was fine. I was satisfied with what it is that I got. I mean to an extent. I do think that it's like, okay, America Chavez being the oh, help me, Doctor Strange, a little bit is a little bit contrived, but it is a trope that just 95% of the time works. And it's like, I guess one of the things that I was kind of sort of about was Patrick Stewart in the yellow chair. I love to see it, but it needed to be a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Because it's like, dude, that chair is almost eating you. And it was like, I mean, I appreciated that Sir Patrick Stewart came back to do
Stan,
to reprise his role as Professor Xavier. I am super stoked for Johnny Krasinski as
yes,
Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. It's like, I know that the position is out there, but it's like, I really, really, really want Emily Blunt. That is his wife, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I really want Emily Blunt to be Sue Storm, because they work so well together.
They do.
And I can almost guarantee that that's going to happen because he's directing the film as well.
Yeah.
So
she might have a part in it then. It's like I guess the real question does come down. It's like, okay, who's going to be playing the Human Torch and who's going to be playing the Thing?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to matter with the Thing. I think he's going to be CGI. I don't think he's going to be that horrible prosthetics like they did in the first one.
Yeah. They're going to clean that up a little bit.
Hold on.
The prosthetics were better than the CGI that we got in the second Fantastic Four movie.
Can I just say I never saw that monstrosity? So
okay,
I did.
Still, I saw it, and the CGI thing worse than the prosthetics. The prosthetics look good in comparison.
Hey, but this is Marvel.
Okay, yeah, now this is Marvel, so they're gonna do a better job if they do better in terms of like prosthetics, or if it's just better CGI altogether. The CGI in the most recent first Fantastic Four with the kid who's going to be in Top Gun, whose name I cannot remember.
Oh yeah, there's another Top Gun coming out. I'm gonna have to take my mom
next week.
Yeah, I'll take her.
Yeah, he was Reed Richards. Yeah, the CGI.
Michael B. Jordan was
Michael B. Jordan was
Human
the Human
Torch, right?
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan was
Yeah.
the Human Torch before he was Killmonger.
So both torches are already reestablished in the MCU.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
And one of them is dead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
The other one's just old.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
So, I don't know. I mean, who could they possibly?
A story for another time.
It's like a story for another time.
Yeah.
But regardless of what it is that they do, if they decide to go with prosthetics, if they decide to go with CGI, it's going to be infinitely better than what we've seen before. It's like I will die on this hill. The prosthetics for the original Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four: The Rise of Silver Surfer, those prosthetics for the time that they were in existence were indeed
They were
revolutionary.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
Yes.
today's standards, probably don't hold up so well. It's like I will.
I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and rewatch those.
Same.
It's since,
been a minute.
Yeah, it's like, and since you're talking about CGI, go watch the newer Fantastic Four. And,
Oh God.
and then come back to me with the whole entire thing of like CGI is better because sometimes it's not.
Yeah. Oh, we learned
true.
that in we learned that in the DCU.
Yeah,
so
well,
you know,
Henry Cavill's fake lip and removed facial hair.
Yeah.
Mustache. The most expensive mustache in the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I guess now what would your guys' ratings be of this movie?
Oh. 6.5 out of 10.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Dude. It's like I now need to go check Thor: The Dark World and see what it's
Rated on IMDb.
Yeah.
Hold on now.
You rated it lower than IMDb for Thor: The Dark World.
Well, Thor: The Dark World for me is like a 3.
But
so there is that.
Still, Thor: The Dark World got a 6.8 out of 10. Oh dear. Wow.
Sorry. I mean, like I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was right there, kind of in the middle for me. Like I felt that they missed a lot. They could have done a lot more. And
is a D.
I personally felt let down.
Okay, but still, it's like you say middle of the road. 6.5 is a D. Like I could understand middle of the road being like 7.5. That's a solid C.
There were just some things that I just can't like get over with just the wig, the CGI, the rush story. Like there's just so many things. It was a good movie. It was a fun popcorn film. Like I guess I'm the type of person that will never say that I hate a film.
Oh, I straight up will hate something.
Or
having a lack of story.
There's only been a few films in my lifetime that I've ever said that I freaking hate and I cannot stand and I will never watch again. And that's a very small amount of film, but like it just I felt let down because you had this big build up for this film with the shows and the movies and stuff like that, and just I felt like that they didn't continue on with that build or even give you like I just felt let down from that aspect.
Okay.
So the acting was good. Don't get me wrong, acting was good. Wanda just phenomenal as always. She did a fantastic job there. The soundtrack, Danny Elfman. I mean, I love that man. He cannot do no wrong for me. But I mean, it just Everybody's talking about, oh, it's a horror film. It's, Marvel's horror film and da da da. No, nothing like that. So it's just there's a lot of things that just kind of add up. There's more negatives than positives for me.
Okay.
And I'm just being honest.
We appreciate honesty
We
in this stuff.
appreciate the honesty. It's like I'm still gonna say I am shocked by the honesty, but yeah, no, it's like we will not fault you for for holding that opinion. Swede, what would you rate this film?
I don't like the numbers, so it's a C for me.
Okay.
It's a C. It's probably mid-high range C for a lot of plot and story issues and character development. I can get over the wig. I can get over the CGI. I can get over. That's not an issue for me. It's more as I wanted to see more America. I wanted him not to be a villain in his own film every time, and I really wished that if it was going to be about Wanda, that it would have been a Wanda film.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. It's not my favorite, but I wished it was more.
So I am significantly higher than the both of you.
Which is fine. That's
a
great.
C plus or a B minus.
Yeah, you've got somebody that you've got mine, you got Swedes, and yours. Small, medium, and large.
You call me fat?
I will be small.
I'm saying in score.
I gave it like an 89.9999999. Like it's not an A quality movie. I will say that. I don't see it as a C quality movie or even as a B rated movie. I see it as like, okay, you got an 89.9 repeating percent on this scale. We'll bump it up to an A minus, but you still got a B plus, or just you got a B plus, and that's about it. It wasn't my favorite. I enjoyed it for other reasons, because I enjoyed the weirdness of it.
I like the weirdness of it.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like it just needed more character development and plot.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I thought it was fine on both of those. Unless you're expanding this out to be 2 films. Part of it is also me thinking it's like, okay, they basically want the ability, or Marvel/Disney wants the ability to go out and do other things with these characters. So therefore they want to say, hey, these guys are here. We're gonna get to their stories later. Which, that to me has kind of been that. I guess that kind of skews the score, because I'm not going through and judging it based on Patrick Stewart's appearance, Johnny Krasinski's appearance. Crap, even the guy who plays Black Bolt, whose name I do not remember. I just remember that Inhumans was on Fox and that it was terrible.
Yeah, I had no idea who he was.
Go ahead.
Was it the actor that played Black Bolt in the movie? Is that the same actor from the show?
Same actor from the as the TV show was also in the movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. That's cool. I like that aspect of it that they're bringing from the TV. They did that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. I can appreciate that. So,
and who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because this was also before the Disney acquisition of Fox. Maybe they'll try to bring back Inhumans and do it better? ?
Yeah. My other thing too, why I scored it so low is every other, it felt like they kind of didn't like. How do you tell the story from where you're at now, from how you ended Doctor Strange? Like, how do you like all the other movies had like a fluidity for them, and even leading up to the Multiverse of Madness, there's that fluidity that leads into the movie and stuff like that, which Marvel has done a great job with. But how the movie kind of ended, like where does the story where's the story going to take us from here?
Well,
Like you kind of like in the other phases, you kind of knew what it was leading up to, per se, to where like how this one ended, you're like, okay, is she dead? She not
I
dead?
didn't mind so much as if
Like,
you didn't see WandaVision, the whole beginning makes no sense.
no, right, exactly.
They didn't talk about it. They didn't kind of give a nice little to get you over the hump,
Right,
something.
right.
So, like, I had a friend that's like, "Do I need to watch WandaVision first?" I said, "Yes," or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because then, if you didn't see it, how would you know that her vision's dead, her kids are dead, or they don't exist? Excuse me. How would you know that?
Yeah.
Why are these kids so important if they don't even exist in her universe? They don't exist according to Strange. Why are they? Why do they exist somewhere else?
Yeah. So,
Well,
I mean, that
bothered me.
that also kind of fell into why I gave it such a low score, because it just didn't like. Where do we go from here? Like, what's kind? I mean, we know Doctor Strange is going to be back. You know, we had that really cool cutscene with
Charlize
Nicole
Theron.
Kid. Was it Charlie Theron? Okay.
With,
With her,
Nicole Kidman?
was it Nicole Kidman?
It was not Nicole Kidman.
No,
No.
I get those two mixed up. Sorry.
I
Well,
don't have the Batmobile. No.
dude, they're both from Australia. Come on now.
Oh,
That.
that
I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. I'm just joking around. But I mean, you've got that. You've got that whole
daggers through your internet connection.
No, I'm joking around.
Oh.
But that whole end scene, like that was kind of cool. That was a cool end scene. So you kind of have like, okay, so now we know there's going to be some multiverse in the next Doctor Strange movie, because now he's got the all-seeing eye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which was a really bad CGI. Sorry. But it was cringeworthy. Sorry.
Well,
so
I mean,
yeah.
Sam Raimi hasn't been known for. Well, I guess depending on what movies it is, his CGI is good. I think they would have probably done better had they gone back to like the practical Evil Dead CG, not CGI, but the practical eye that they had from Evil Dead.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's just, I mean, like I said, you know, that's my practical opinion.
But yeah. In terms of where they go from here, more than likely it's going to be the extra dimensional stuff. The Squiddy Boy monster actually does have a name. I cannot remember it at this current
Squiddy
point.
Boy.
Yes, Squiddy Boy.
Squidward. Moving on.
No, that is from Endgame, that's from Infinity War. But one of the associates, or one of the people or entities that that particular demon or
Preacher,
but also
Thing.
Blackheart. And main reason why I know of him is because I was a huge player of Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes.
fair.
And both those characters were playable characters in the game. So I would say it's like we're gonna probably get to go see more of people with Dormammu. It's like which would be amazeballs. I would
Yeah.
not. That's like I would not be upset with that. It's like Dormammu's like I've come. It's like you came to bargain, but that was for that one Earth. I'm going after all the rest of them.
We got upcoming after Strange, so you've got Thor: Love and Thunder, right?
Which that won't. It's like that. The storyline there has no real weight in regards to Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
Right. And then that's basically kind of lead us into Guardians 3, right? For the most part.
Maybe?
Probably.
Question mark?
Well,
And
because
then-
Thor has been hanging out with the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you've got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and then that's it for this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything got pushed back again.
That
Yeah.
seems like not a whole lot.
Cries and Ant-Man.
Yeah. And then next year we've got the Marvels. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
So the
and
Marvels is
Blade. Oh, the next is going to be Disney Plus should be Miss Marvel.
Yes. Yes.
That should be what's next. And then we don't know when we're getting She-Hulk, do we? They haven't announced that yet, right?
No,
idea.
they
So
keep circling.
I mean, really kind of nothing that touches to the multiverse that I can think of. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here with Thor, because like I don't know, I'm intrigued by what they're going to do this phase, because you kind of don't know what they're going to do.
Well,
I mean, really, when you think of it, how they ended this, they could go a bunch of different ways. Like there's no way of telling of like how these movies are going to go and how they're all going to tie together, because before all the movies tied together because you had your main films,
you don't
and
have
then
your
you
big
had
bad
and then
yet.
you had your you had your Avengers.
You don't
then you
have,
had your-
no, hold on. You don't have your big bad yet.
True.
That's the reason why you don't know where anything's going.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Avengers, the first movie, we were made aware that Thanos
Mm-hmm.
is ultimately the big bad guy that we're gonna be fighting. Right now, we don't know that.
No.
So we
Mhm.
might not get to see that until the next Avengers level movie, which there hasn't been one yet.
Right.
True.
Yeah, because each phase is what, like 10 movies, something like
I don't
that.
know.
No clue.
6 movies, something like it's just
Chunk.
interesting to see. It's just interesting to see how they're going to do it, because they've gone the way of the streaming platforms and given us these shows.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it feels like we've already had a huge chunk of this latest phase already, from WandaVision, Cap and Winter Soldier, Loki, Spider-Man, Moon Knight, everything. I mean, we've already
Spider-Man wasn't a
had like,
show.
no, I'm just saying a huge chunk of the phase, which is the shows and the movies. So it's like it feels like they should already be kind of closing this phase out almost to an extent, because you've already had a lot of story for this phase, and like you kind of don't know.
Well,
You kind of knew at the beginning where they were taking it with the multiverse, with Wanda and with Loki.
I'm gonna disagree with you that we haven't had enough.
Okay.
Because it's like, if you think about it, just it's like, so in terms of pure cinematic releases.
Yep.
I wouldn't even consider Spider-Man No Way Home to be part of the next phase of Marvel.
Why not?
It's the end cap. It's the bookend for the Avengers. It's
No, because it
what
led you
stakes does it
to.
offer? It's like, what stakes does it offer other than no one knows who Spider-Man is and it's introducing the multiverse? It's a segue at best.
Right, but it's not the end cap. Like,
Okay,
I
so
mean,
it's
so we started off with WandaVision, right? So then you
yeah,
had, then after that, the movie phase was kicked off by Black Widow.
which Black Widow doesn't belong in this. I'm sorry.
But it kicked off this phase.
No, it's not part of the phase though. It doesn't progress the story between what
No,
it
it
is.
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I mean,
But
other
it
than
was
it's like
supposed to
other
be
than like 5 minutes of the
because of
movie.
COVID, it got thrown out of time to when it was supposed to be released. It was supposed to have been released before WandaVision,
Yeah. So
which that didn't happen.
so Black Widow does not belong in the next. It's like in the next, because in the next saga.
Right.
Let's
I agree with that. I agree with that.
let's break it down into larger parts rather than this whole entire smaller parts, because saying it's part of this phase, because Black Widow belongs in the Infinity Saga.
Yes, it does.
WandaVision very much after the Infinity Saga. Spider-Man No Way Home segue from Infinity Saga to the next one. Like this.
So then where do you put Hawkeye?
Same.
In the Infinity Saga?
No. I also say it's the epilogue.
Okay.
And because I mean, books have been doing it forever. It's like, okay, here's the end of your story, but here's the teaser for the next story that we're going to be writing.
Right.
So for me, it's WandaVision does, I would very much agree that does start the kickoff for the next introduction for the saga. And that's, WandaVision, Cap and Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, depending on like when you watch it. Then Hawkeye was after that, but Hawkeye belongs towards, it's like Hawkeye goes back, is more of like, you're getting Hawkeye back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then really, the first movie that we're seeing is this one, which it's the establishment movie, and those ones always are. It's like establishment movies. It's all exposition. It sucks, but it's what we have to deal with.
Right. Well, it's kind of weird. I mean, I know we're just kind of just circling around right now, but when you think about it, so what we had that led up to Doctor Strange, right? WandaVision, Loki, Spider-Man. Those three things kind of led up to introducing you to the multiverse and kind of getting you set up for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, right?
Yes.
In between that, you had, we won't even include Black Widow because I agree with you. It's part of the Infinity Saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had basically the start of the new Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Cap, Bucky, Hawkeye. So what's are we getting two kickoffs of different,
So
it looks like we're getting a lead up to a new Avengers, and then we're kind of splitting off to, different storyline with the multiverse. Like it's kind of confusing right now. Where are we going with everything?
It's confusing, and no one knows the answer. So why are we searching for it?
Because we've always had the answer from Marvel.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
Been Mephisto.
I'm sorry.
No.
I know you're
The thing is that yes, it's a very confusing time right now, and like we just have to let Marvel, Kevin Feige, and the rest of them at Disney and Marvel go through and do their jobs. Let's let them do that and not be like, oh, where does this belong right now? mean, granted, we did a fair chunk of that just in the past 10 minutes.
Sorry, I just get going, and my brain just like
your brain goes.
Yeah.
Your brain's like a toilet.
What?
Just go.
You're gonna have to elaborate.
And around and around
Round
and
and
around
round
and
and
around
round.
and around and around.
It's full of shit.
She said it. Not
Most
me.
of the time. Most of the time. Most of the time.
I watch this man dance and get into a Spartan in the parking lot. I get to say whatever I want.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, that's great.
But I mean, ultimately, we're good. It's like we're excited for the next. It's like we're all excited for the next phase, the next saga, wherever it is that we decide to go with for the Avengers.
Yes.
Or for Dark Avengers, Secret Avengers, whomever the heck it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
it's like
give me that.
we're ready for this ride, and you know, I'm excited to see where it's possibly gonna go. I mean, and you know, because of the pandemic, because of COVID, yes, some things got jumbled around.
Yes.
I mean, we could probably go through and do just an episode based upon like, here's what you need to watch and how you need to watch it.
Yeah.
Or our opinions. And yeah, but that's about all the time that we have for this episode. What did you think of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Did you rate it as low as Shane or lower? Or did you rate it as high as me or higher? Or were you like Swede and just safely in the middle? Let us know what you think in those comments down below. Remember to click that thumbs up or that thumbs down. And subscribe to the channel and ring the little bell. Now, until next time, my name is Brendan. I'm the Nerd of Many Faces. That's been Shane at FDScosplay. And that has been the SassySwede. And we are the Knights of Nerd. And hopefully we'll see you at the next roundtable. Have a good night and good day or good afternoon. We'll catch you later.